Hey guys, welcome to Rated F. It's Robbie,
It's Felix.
and today we're talking about the Justice League.
This is the thrill. Welcome to the thrill. Giving you something that's real. Tell me how you really feel. Now that you're hearing the thrill. I was all on my own. Now we're looking at it home. Spit the dish up from the dome.
All right, Robbie. So Justice League. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Very much so. Let's talk about it.
So last week, guys, give you a recap. If you didn't see the video, our last video, we talked about Suicide Squad. Want to continue building on that and kind of talk about another, what I thought was a pretty decent but a lot of opportunity movie, Justice League.
Yeah, for me, you hit the nail right on the head. There was a lot of hype behind it. It has the potential. It has the storylines, obviously with the comic books, and it had potential. It really did have the potential of being, if not the biggest movie of all time. We all know that with Marvel they took their spots, but when it comes to DC world, that should have been their biggest revenue. That easily should have made $1 billion, if not two. And I'm not exactly sure where they dropped the ball. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, there's a lot of things, a lot of thoughts to it. Pros and cons to it. The pros, obviously, the characters I thought, for the most part, were very well done. Even shout out to Ben Affleck for doing the Batman role.
Definitely.
I thought it was going to be horribly done, i.e. Daredevil. I thought that was going to be, I was like, not a fan of this move, but I said, let's see how it goes. And honestly speaking, I think he did a very good role. I think he was a better Bruce Wayne, but the Batman element, he did very gritty, older Batman. But like I said, like storyline, I think they did a really good storyline. I think where they kind of skewed off on their storyline was like some of the pieces that they were trying to add in, trying to rush the team together, is where I was just kind of like, okay, great elements, but you missed a lot of spots. I felt like because they were trying to they didn't want to play with our intelligence. They knew that we knew who these superheroes were, and versus, we're gonna build up and give you the story in the back. I love that they skipped the Wayne's dying. They skipped it's a played out scene. You know it. Okay, we get it. Your parents are dead. But at the same time, it was a good little drop in to say, hey, like, here's Batman. This is what created him. This is what kind of got him going. Then they fast forward into him being gone for so long, and he's back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, it was a good movie. It was a lot of good elements, but then they started missing the mark because the Justice League, and then for a lot of comic book fans, Batman was in his 20s.
Yeah.
When Justice League started.
I think that's where they went wrong. They had a good storyline when it had the incorporation of Batman and what's going on with Superman. I think they could have dwelled a lot deeper with Superman when it came to like him going crazy. That lasted a while, not just a couple of minutes. They wanted it in there. They dropped the black suit, unfortunately, but that comes in time.
I was heartbroken for that black suit. I love the black suit.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, cool, do it then. And it's like kind of fell short. It felt rushed. Way too many directions that they wanted to go, and it felt like they couldn't really make up their mind with which direction they wanted to go. They were just trying to spew out a movie. They thought Justice League, money. That's it.
And I think that's where they dropped the ball, though. I think exactly Justice League, money, and then WB puts their input because they're spending the money.
Yeah.
And that's where I think if WB would have just let them kind of do what the director wanted to do, and granted, I know there was changes middle of the movies. They did a couple reshoots.
Well, it's changes on top of that because, and sorry to cut you off, but like, because they're putting too much input in it. Because if you look at it, you're just like, oh, creative differences. They went this way, that direction, da-da-da. Why don't you just let the creators be the creators? If you want to be the creators, then you direct the movie. Yeah. But no, you're dishing out money and you think you have a say in it just because you're dishing out money. Then you get mad at other people when it doesn't make the money that you dished out. It doesn't make any sense. They put Batman, and as you said, he's supposed to be in his 20s. In this one, he's like in like late 40s, early 50s. And it's the wrong Batman in the wrong timeline. You need to put that more in perspective of authenticity.
And like for the casual,
I feel like they don't care.
And it's true. And to the casual comic book fan, a casual comic book fan may have not known so much the timeline that Batman was in the Justice League, but to the comic book nerds is because exactly what we are, comic book nerds.
To your base.
You know,
who are actually going to watch the movie and tell their friends and spew a bunch of knowledge on what is and what isn't, and this is happening, that's happening. And then you learn from them. You learn from the comics. You learn from the cartoon.
Yeah, and then I think that's where they dropped the ball. Is like, we know Batman was in his mid-20s. Superman and Batman were about the same age going into the Justice League.
True.
So I think there was a lot of elements that they missed it on.
Yeah.
I think the actors, all of them, kind of saved a lot of the movie. Because this movie literally could have just tailspin more stuff than it really did.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around why Cyborg was there.
I'm still,
and not Hawk Girl. I don't want to Hawk.
It is Hawk Girl, but I would have actually. You know what I would love to see? Martian Manhunter.
Yes.
Put him in the movie. Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Put him in the movie. And I know Ryan Reynolds did a great job with a crappy script
costumes.
and a CGI costume, but they were trying to build with him trying to get into it, but they dropped the ball again. So there's a lot of elements, and I know that with the Justice League movie, I loved that they mentioned the Green Lanterns without dropping who.
Mm-hmm. It leaves it open.
Yeah.
It could be Hal Jordan. It could be the other guy. It could be this guy. It could be that guy.
Loved
it could be a new guy. It's fine. It's just a protector of the realm.
Yeah, and that's why I love that they went that route. They kind of showed them, kind of mentioned that, hey, there was other beings other than the gods, the titans, and the people of the sea that fought against Wolf.
Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf. Sorry, I blanked on
which I'm not sure how it goes. I think Steppenwolf is either, and forgive me when it comes to authenticity, like we were talking about earlier, but Steppenwolf is either Apocalypse's uncle or nephew, and they flip-flopped it in the movie and had him go first, like if he was sent as like an emissary.
In most cases, that's how it is, because Steppenwolf was the front runner of him. He's his general. Kind of like
a Silver Surfer for
kind of
Galactus. He goes scouts. All right, cool, it's fine.
Yeah, and I think that's his character. I was okay with the villain. I was okay with again, the storyline was fine. It was just certain areas that they ruined it for me. I hated the reshoots. Was not a fan of it.
The reshoots didn't really make any sense because it didn't correlate with the other movie. You had 2 or 3 movies in the same 2.5 hour time span.
Yeah, about more or less.
Maybe a little more than that.
It was almost 3 hours, the movie, and then at the same time you're looking at a scene where they had to reshoot all these scenes. So then all these actors who had already thought, "Hey, I'm done," they were getting ready for the next role. They had to do these reshoots. I.e. Superman, when they had to CGI his face, and it was horrible CGI.
Oh, the mustache.
Yes,
it wasn't even needed. It wasn't needed. That was just, it was a clip in the very beginning of the movie. And I'm like, it has nothing to do with the movie. He might as well be signing autographs.
But it was the change of the director because of the Lost in the Family, and they wanted to play, they literally played a size battle. They were trying to see whose dick was bigger, and well, we don't know what was better at the same time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was just a lot of things that they could have done better. And I mean, again, it was a great element, a great story that just wasn't hit. It didn't hit the money.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you.
I think they did a lot of other elements, and
very disappointing.
You want to know what's the issue with Justice League and with DC's production, the DCU? They're trying to be Marvel.
Oh, that's what we said with Suicide Squad. They're trying to play catch up when it comes to Batman versus Superman. When it came to Justice League, when it came to Suicide Squad, I really think that the Birds of Prey is going to fall too. Even though you have a good cast, but this is what they do. We've seen it time and time again. They give you a great cast, you go because you like the cast, and then you watch the movie and you're disappointed. Are you going to go ask for your money back, or are you just going to be like, let's just go home? The chances of you getting your money back, you can get your money back. But are you really going to go and actually say, this movie was crap, I watched the whole movie, I want my money back? Yeah, if you walk out halfway because it's crap, because you see that it's crap from the very beginning, then it is what it is. I've tried to watch Justice League time and time again. the storyline, it either puts me asleep, and it doesn't matter what time of day it is. It could be in the morning, it could be in the afternoon. I've tried to watch it at night when I'm like restless. That movie puts me to sleep faster than the Weather Channel.
But I think because they elongated pieces of the movie that could have been, had you done solo movies for them early,
yes,
kind of like what they did with the Avengers.
Yes.
I'm okay with seeing 7 solo movies and then give me the Justice League.
Yes.
I'm okay.
Exactly what they did. They gave you your solo movies and they gave you Avengers.
Solo movies?
Solo movies, big one. Solo movies, big one. Big one, big one. Solo movies in between, just to kind of piece things together. And they've been doing it for 10 plus years, and
it would have worked.
Works.
But they're trying to play catch up, and that's their biggest issue.
And that's the go ahead.
And I know I'm gonna let you get to the spot too. But it's that. Well, Marvel's right here, so we need to get here. Like, you don't need to do anything, get your fan base.
Yeah, your fan base is not the same. DC, there are people who like Marvel and DC comics. It's not far fetched. I'm a big Batman fan. But let's cut to the chase. MCU is destroying DC.
On the movies,
from the movies, they're trying to revamp because they're getting all their rights back. I mean, you're talking 10, 15 years ago they went bankrupt, and then they were on the verge of bankruptcy, and they started selling things off. Now they're getting things back. So we got the first family back, this and the other. But anyway, Justice League. When it comes to that, WB and DC need to understand. You are your own entity. Build your entity. If you're good with Batman movies, Christian Bale and the Christopher Nolan movies, those are a good moneymaker. Build off that. Go into a different realm. You just cut it off at the trilogy, and that's okay. You have Wonder Woman. That's one of their biggest. When it comes to a little shaky but still a good movie with Aquaman, you have something. Build off it. Don't cram too much. Give the people what they want in spurts, because then you'll make money in spurts. You're not paying catch up. You're giving homage to the fans. You're giving authenticity to the fans, and that's what matters. But at the same time, we're not working for DC. Maybe one day we will. Never know. But it's not a sense of authenticity for them. It's a sense of money, and they throw so much money, and they lose money, and then they get mad. But they get mad, but you gotta get mad to yourself.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. You gotta get mad at yourself for caring about the money more than you care about the fans, and I think that's what Justice League missed the mark. They cared about, I just spent X amount of money, so this movie needs to make me X amount of money to offset or make me more. Yeah. And I think that's where it missed it. To me, and a lot of people, I know I spoke to a lot of people, and for everyone who's going to be watching this, please put your comments and what you thought about it at the bottom. They both said it. Like, there's a lot of things that this movie really could have hit. It just didn't do it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's biting them in the ass. You see how Endgame did. Movie theaters are open for 3 days straight. They wish they could make a movie that would have DC that type of popularity.
And they want to do it now.
Yeah, and it's like, no, they've been building for 10, 12 years for this. You can't do it in a year. You've been saying, oh, we're gonna do Batman versus Superman. It's 2015. How many years after? How many years before? When are you gonna get your shit together? Do it. Do your homework. Read the comics. Watch the cartoons. Do what you have to do. Get the comic book geeks in there, like Kevin Feige and all them, who actually care. And get it done. Eventually, you'll make the money that you want to make now.
And I think, and I'm gonna say this one, and then we're gonna go into our final segment.
Yes.
For this. I think if they just give them the freedom, like Marvel's done to all their directors, give a little input and say, run with this,
yes,
and make it yours.
Yes.
And then it'll work. But you gotta start from ground zero. You gotta give me solos. You gotta get me into
That's what they did with James Gunn.
It's always
There's a blueprint. Do your thing. Look, he made Guardians of the Galaxy. It was nothing, and he made it into a household name. You have James Gunn now. So what are you gonna do?
And anybody who's going to tell me that they saw and knew Guardians of the Galaxy was gonna be this good prior to, please show me proof.
Nope.
But on to Justice League. Yes. Our final moment. Rated F. Is this rated F?
To me, absolutely not. It's not worth a rated F. You know how I am when I critique my movies. I'm looking at the cinematography. I'm looking at the audio. I'm looking at the entire build to the third act. I'm looking at the cast. I'm looking at the cinematography as a whole, and also the acting ability. if all of it doesn't come into play, and you can't really, and I can't invest. I'm not a superhero. It's fantasy. But if I can't invest into your product and lose myself into what you're trying to create, then you didn't do your job. You're putting hundreds of millions of dollars into these movies. Get it right. So no, it's not a rated F at all. The farthest thing from rated F.
And I will have to agree with it. It wasn't rated F. It was a decent movie. Yeah. Nothing to what the actors did and all the work that these guys
fantastic job. Fantastic job.
But the movie just didn't hit the mark. It was great actors, great idea, horrible planning, horrible script.
That sounds like the blueprint and the marketing scheme of WB.
It's literally what it is.
Since they've tried to do DC movies, it's just.
And I hope, because DC hits the mark on all the other.
Anything.
They hit the mark on comics, games, the shows. I mean, and
the animated series and animated movies are really good because to give them at least something. Hush, Batman Hush is great. That movie is actually, it's an animated movie. They're good at animated movies. One of the best animated movies of all time, at least in my eyes, Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, that is that. And very. It was.
They do their thing when it comes to animated, but then they fuck up somewhere when it comes to real people.
I don't understand
what's going on.
I can't understand it. But guys, like always, I need you guys to go ahead and like this video, subscribe if you guys want to stay in the loop and stay up to date on any of the new contents we're going to be doing going further. Please hit the bell also. Guys, I definitely want to hear what you guys think on as far as Justice League. Place your comment at the bottom. Follow us on our Twitter page. Is the rated F, and then go ahead, guys, and keep on watching.
Yeah, we see like in the comic section, there's a couple of you guys, but it seems like you guys are scared to talk about it. Like, tell me everything that's on your mind. You could curse, you could jolt, you could do whatever you need. Let it out in the comic section. Thank you for the support, guys.
Guys, good, bad, and different. We want to hear it all. So, guys, as always, your boy Felix.
Robbie here.
Have a good one.
Take care. Rated F.
Giving you something that's real. Tell me how you really feel. Now that you're hearing the thrill. I was all on my own. Now we're looking at it home. Spit the dish up from the dome. I'm looking at we gone, and this is the thrill.